Nutrition in the final 2 weeks. So, welcome back to the Dopey Countdown. Today is day 11. We are going to be lining up at the start line of the first race of the Dopey series in just 11 days. It's so hard to believe that we're almost there. So, today we're going to be talking about nutrition in the final 2 weeks. I am not a nutritionist. I am not here to tell you how to eat or what to eat for your individual needs. But the thing I want you to hear is the most important takeaway today is this is not the time to change. You heard that. So, this is not the time to change anything. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the race. You have been training in a certain way. You have been feeding yourself to support that training in a certain way. Why would you change it now? I see all over social media in the last 2 weeks before a race, all these influencers talking about all the things they're doing to carb up, protein up, etc., in advance of a race. I saw one influencer for Dopey last year who was telling people they should double, even triple the amount of water and liquids they were taking in. I mean, probably not a good idea, right? Been training a certain way, like making those kinds of changes put you at risk. They put you at risk of dietary issues. They put you at risk of hyponatremia in that particular case. It is possible to drink so much water that your body can no longer process it. And it's just not good for you to take that risk. So why do it? And the biggest mistake I see is people making those changes out of panic or because it's what they're hearing that people should be doing. Like we've all heard about carbing up before a race, and there is some benefit to doing that, but probably not as much as you think. All right. So what does good nutrition right now look like in these last 2 weeks? Eat regularly. Like if you're used to eating 3 meals a day, eat three. If you're used to eating 2 meals a day, eat two. Prioritize familiar foods, right? You don't want to be introducing stuff that your body is just not used to processing. We've all heard about folks who have kind of lost their bowels on a race, and you don't want that to be you. And a lot of times that's due to putting foods into your body that is not used to. So if you're used to training on long runs with real food, then now is probably not the time to switch to gels. And likewise, if you're used to training on gels and you heard on the internet that all these people are proponents of training with real food, that's great for your next race. But now for Dopey, I wouldn't change a thing right now. Keep your hydration strategy. Whatever you're doing and have been doing, just continue doing it and make sure that you're getting enough calories in. This is a really bad time to go on a diet. And we're not just talking about because of all the holiday foods that we just ate, but also because you got a race coming up and it's going to have huge demands on your body. And starting a calorie deficit right now is not going to support you in meeting those goals. And likewise, now's probably not the best time to shift those calories and how they make up your diet. If your diet is mostly carbs and you want to change that so that you're eating more clean and healthy foods, that's fine. Do it the Monday after Dopey. Now is not the right time to make those kinds of changes. Lastly, your gut it likes predictability, right? We put food in it. Personal example is many years ago, I cut out really greasy foods, right? So I don't really do fast food. I don't really do fried foods. But, every once in a while, we're traveling, we're on the road, and what's available to us on the turnpike or 95? You got it, fried food. I can tell you the belly is not happy because I'm just not used to it. So now let's talk real quick about carbs. Carbs are not the devil. I know we all have been hearing for years and years and years to cut carbs, and there's truth to that. But carbs on their own are not the devil. Right. So be aware carbs are not the same as carb loading. Carb loading happens in the 48 hours before a race. So, our first race is on Thursday. Maybe on Tuesday, you start thinking about carb loading. Now, if you carb load now until race, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get fat. which, maybe you like that. But most of us are not trying to add calories. Consistency matters if you're used to an 1,800, 2,000, 3,000 calorie diet, whatever it is you're used to being on, just keep it up. Of course, if you have been modifying your calorie intake based on the activity of the day, obviously continue doing that. If you use an app like Fuelin, that's a great way to stay on top of like how many macros you should have in a particular day based on your activity for that day. Eating enough carbs now continues to support your training, your recovering, your mood. But, as always, continue to add in those proteins, hydrate, the things that you need to do to help in your recovery because you are still working out. You are still doing runs, even though they're not long, they're not as hard. You are still doing them. All right. So a couple of things to remember. Nervousness can change appetite, right? We all know that, nervousness, depression, anxiety, da 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 can all, make us hungrier. Resist that urge. Travel definitely changes appetite. I can tell you on days I travel, oh my God, anything within arm's reach, I just want to eat. Don't, but it's all totally normal. And don't overreact to a few days of feeling hungry, feeling less hungry, feeling bloated, especially with all the travel coming up. When we travel, we get bloated and it kind of sucks and it makes us hungry, but probably not the right answer to just go and eat everything in sight. But hey, don't change what you're doing today. If it's working for you, keep it up. Talk about those diets or those changes in nutrition habits in 2 weeks after Dopey, after you've got those 6 medals hanging around your neck. So, closing this out, there is one big takeaway to this. Boring nutrition is good nutrition right now. What you've been doing is what you should continue to do. Don't make big changes. It's right across the race. We've all heard of nothing new on race day. That holds true right now. Don't change things that take a long time for your body to adjust to. All right. So, tomorrow we are going to talk about travel and logistics. Race stress almost always comes from planning, not fitness. It's always best to keep it simple. All right. With that, be fierce, see you, and I'll see you tomorrow.